Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage, welcome back to another one of our winter drag truck projects. So as I told you guys before, we've got a couple projects for the drag truck, nothing too crazy, and we're basically going to do one project at a time, complete it, and then move on to the next thing so we don't end up behind schedule. I think I have found all of our transmission parts that we need. I think I have a gear train on the way for it. Should be here in a couple days. Guy on Comp D had. So bought that off of him. We should be good to go there. And then we'll have to talk to our guys at Muldoon's about what shafts we want to go with, you know, what intermediate shaft, and go so on and so forth. So I think I'm still looking for a 48 RE pump. So if you have a 48 RE pump, definitely hit me up. So also, as far as our last video went with our shelves, I'm still digging the shelves. I got a lot of stuff up there. As you can see, they have filled up pretty quickly. Starting to open up space in the garage. I really haven't done anything with the cabinets or anything yet, but I got this one over here turned and just trying to open up some space. Got a toolbox back there in the back, our little shelving unit workbench here. So trying to still figure out what that all looks like. Probably going to end up adding some more shelves later on because, as you guys can see, that filled up pretty quickly. So what is our next project on the drag truck? Well, it's something you will see not a lot of guys have done, but quite a few in the drag racing scene have it done. It's not really a street truck thing. I don't know if you could make it work for a street truck or if you even should try, but we are going to be converting our truck to rack and pinion steering. So we're going to put a steering rack on here, and there's two reasons for going to a rack and pinion steering. One is obviously weight savings. This rack is relatively light, but that and also vehicle control. So this will help with the torque steer and stuff like that. The guys at Fire Pump were basically following what they do. Go look on their YouTube channel and see how they do it. They've done it on multiple trucks. I know a few of their trucks there at the shop have this set up. They have a rack and pinion. Multiple guys at like UCC, so on and so forth. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we'll get in depth on all our parts and all that. First thing we're going to do is rip off all the old stuff so that way we can mock everything up, and then we will kind of get a rack sitting in place and talk about the whole process. This is not a job we're going to get done tonight, but I'm hoping to make plenty of progress, and that way maybe the next video we will be able to complete this job. So we got to get under the front end of our truck here, and we got to remove all our crossover steering. So we got to remove our steering stabilizer. We got to remove all these bars, and then we got to remove our power steering gear. So we got to get all that off so that way we can get this thing in there and mock it up. There might be a little more to it because, as you guys can see, we have an engine cross member right there, probably in the way. So we'll get a lot of this stuff out, take a good look at it, and then talk about all our parts and all that. All right, so we got all of our steering components off the front of the axle here. Basically, we just have our intercooler, our fluid amper, and then our axle. So we got everything in the way cleared out that we could just unbolt. So I got everything laying over here. So we got our steering gearbox, which this thing's just a big hunk of cast. I mean, it's heavy. Steering stabilizer, our cross linkage for our steering, which these two bars here are heavier than the steering rack right here. So we got that all out. We got our track bar out because that was going to be in the way. Now, this power steering rack is, it's a part numbered part for a 3/4 ton or 1 ton 2-wheel drive 3rd gen truck. I got this from eBay. It's from Detroit Axle. They are actually based in Detroit. It is an American reman company. Got it from them. Their core charge is like $20 and it's already in the price. So I think, you know, you get the money back, you know, if you send it back to them, but it's like 1/4 of the cost of a brand new one. So that's why I got that. Just got it on eBay, like I said. Now, in my research, it appeared that the 1500s, 25 and the 3500s all have the same part number, but I just got one that, you know, the listing said for a 25 or 3500 just because. But like I said, part number's all the same until you get to the newer stuff, which then the 1500s get into the electric rack. No idea if that would work, but we have our power steering pump for our hydro boost and all that, and our lines should just bolt right in there. So just kind of did what everybody in the past has done, what the fire pump guys do, and we'll get onto our rack here in a little bit. Also, we got from Thurn, we got these adapters. These go from our taper fit on our steering knuckle to a 1/2 inch pin up top because we're going to go to a hind joint setup. And then we have these steering knuckles here. These are from Barnes 4-wheel drive. These are actually for if you had like a PSC hydraulic steering, like on a mud truck or something, or like an off-road truck. These will bolt to the end of the hydraulic rams on either side. Now, we're not going to be bolting these. What we are going to be doing is actually removing the boot here. I've already had this one off. Basically, we're going to take this knuckle right here, cut it down to just the hex portion, and actually weld this, TIG weld this to here, and then we'll be able to thread it onto our rack. We're not going to worry about that right yet. We have a lot of other stuff to do in the meantime, but like I said, already did it on this side. That'll be going away, and we'll just be using the nut portion of this. So like I said, just kind of following what people before me have done. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but this is going to take more modification. I was aware that it was probably going to have to happen, but yeah, we're going to have to go through with it. I'll show you what I mean right now. So as you guys can see, I have this thing mocked up on a 8x. It's actually sitting lower than it would normally, but as you guys can see, the drive gear for this is hitting where our engine mount is, or where our engine cross member is. So we're gonna have to eliminate that and kind of redo it. What we'll do is probably just put a cross member out further on the frame here. But we're gonna have to get rid of that, and that's also why our track bar had to go. So we're gonna have to fab something up for that to replace our track bar to keep our axle centered, so on and so forth. So how these guys mount these things is they actually take these holes. Now these holes were threaded. I drilled them out so they'll accept the 5/8 bolt, but we're gonna have to build a little bracket on our front differential cover, which isn't a big deal. You know, we'll just have to pull the rack when we have to service the diff. Not that it's something we should be into a whole lot. And then do the same thing on the axle tube. Another thing I failed to mention, we're going to be going to a hind joint setup, like I said. So we'll have a hind joint on our Thurn adapters for our steering knuckle, and a hind joint here, and then, you know, a piece of tube like our 4-link bars that we can thread in and out. We don't have those bars yet because I had ordered them from another company, like a kit to do them, because I didn't have any material. And with all the holiday stuff, it's just taking forever to get. So we're going to cut out our engine mount, our engine cross member, and kind of get this thing mocked up in place. I'm not worried about, you know, not having the engine cross member right now. We do have this cross member here that we have our intercooler on, but eventually we will put a cross member down here on the frame. Reason being, when we built this, if you guys remember, I honestly don't think the engine can come out with this here. Not that it's a big deal, because the intercooler doesn't really weigh much. When we have to pull the engine, we'll just whack this bar right here and right here if we don't do it sooner. So anyhow, that's kind of enough jibber jabber. We'll get to cutting our cross member out and see if we can get our rack kind of fit up in place. All right, so got our cross member out, got it cut out with the Sawzall. We definitely still have some trimming that we're gonna need to do. We got some sharp edges. I'm not gonna be able to get that as clean as I would like with the engine in. And to be quite honest, I don't really feel like pulling the engine in order to get that, completely how I want it. So we'll just get it as good as we can. We do have to find a solution for our brake line, which will probably just put some clips on the axle or something like that, maybe a little support from the frame. But I had to push our engine diaper back so that way I didn't, grab it and cut it. I didn't cut any of the lines, I didn't cut the brake line, so that's all good. Also cut out this bracket for the power steering. Just kind of cut it real rough, cut the welds here, and rather than messing with these bars, I just cut little squares, as you can see. To get that all out, we will clean that all up because we can get to it. We'll have to remove our AirDog Champ, our fuel filter setup, and that way we can get the little nubs on the outside of the frame there, get that all cleaned up. This bracket here, we will try and do a little more thorough job, because as you guys can see, I kind of have the rack mocked up about where I want it, and it is touching right there. I can scoot the rack over or kind of tilt it forward some more to give us some more clearance, but I think we're pretty good on there. Another thing that we have to watch out for with doing this now, since the rack is going to be on the axle itself, we need play in our steering column, which I think we're in pretty good shape for, because we have the original expansion joint from the original steering setup in here, and then also on our steering column we have the same thing here. So I think we're going to be good there. Basically, we want to make sure that we have enough droop, so if we ever pick the thing up with a lift or whatever, and then obviously your compression, so that it's not trying to jam the steering column off. But I think we're pretty good. I think we're going to luck out with that, and I'm liking it. I just got to figure out exactly how I'm going to attach it to the axle. Obviously, like I said, going to have to make some bracketry for this front diff cover and something over here, and then have a nut or something welded on the inside, so that way when you unbolt it, you can just pull the bolt out, unbolt your diff cover, and go about your service or whatever we need to do. So like I said, we got our cross member out. This thing is rather hefty, so that'll be some weight savings there. We'll just go back with a piece of tube or whatnot. And this I thought was pretty funny, and anybody who's been with me and followed the channel for quite some time, when I pulled this steering bracket for the power steering gear, yeah, look what we got inside here. Yeah, look at all that dirt and sand and stuff. So if you guys remember, way back when we first built the truck, we took the truck to Cecil, had a problem with putting sand down on the track, and multiple power washings. We had the entire cab off the truck, had the frame tilted up with the engine hoist, all that kind of stuff, hose this thing out. Well, in this bracket, it was up against the frame. There's really nowhere for that stuff to go, and yeah, we still had dirt and crap inside our frame even after all this time. What, 3 or 4 years of doing this, and still got dirt in this thing. It's just unbelievable. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. Guys who've been with me for a while, I know you'll get a kick out of that. But we're moving right along with this. Definitely a little more involved than I thought, as far as having to cut out all that bracketry and whatnot. I knew we would have to at least clearance that cross member, but I got looking at it and how big it is, figured, what, let's just get rid of it. That and our track bar had to go, so we're gonna have to come up with a solution for that. And like I said, a lot of that stuff we could clean up a lot better if we pulled the engine, but I really don't feel like pulling the engine because, yeah, I just don't feel like pulling the engine, to be quite honest. It doesn't need to come out, so, it is what it is at this point. Eventually, hopefully this year we can use the thing the amount I want to, and then, hey, we can probably send it off the Freedom to get them to give it a checkup and all that. So at that time, then we'll clean that stuff up. I'm not really worried about it right now. Maybe it'll get to bother me in a month or so. I don't know. But it's just not something I feel like doing. So we'll clean it up the best we can. We'll get it presentable, and we'll go from there. So yeah, so stay tuned. We're going to get our power steering rack installed, our other parts for our linkage to go from the rack itself to the steering knuckles. That should be here not tomorrow, but the following day. So hopefully we can get that started, and hopefully we can get this this rack and pinion steering completely installed by the new year and keep moving forward with our winter project. So anyway, guys, comment down below if you see anything, you have any insights, if you know a little bit about this, if you've done it before, whatever, comment down below and let me know. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe down below. Catch you guys on the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrench on your truck.